Hello, everyone. This is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus, offering you your free daily tech talk every day, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. How is everyone? Let's see here. Let's share this to a few people. My name is Chris. I offer free tech support to anyone who wants it between 1 and 2 every day, live from California. Of course, this conversation is a lot more interesting when you interact with me. So if you've got some thoughts, questions, comments, go ahead and come on live and say something in the chat, and I'll respond. You could call me on a Facebook Live conversation, and I'll bring the phone call live. You will be heard on speakerphone. And yeah, sometimes being articulate in conversation is a lot more interesting and a lot more easy than trying to put your words into thought. Put your thought into words in text. There we are. Yes. Go ahead and bring me your conversations. Let's see here. Please excuse me for a second here. I'm going to share this to a few different groups here. Let's see here. My name is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus. You can give me a call through Facebook. I've decided getting a call through Facebook's a little more effective. I can help have a conversation more easily that way. I'll be done. Just a second. Almost done. Let's see. Can someone give me a mic check? I see 3 people here, but I don't see anyone typing up any sentences here. Free tech support for anyone who wants it live. If you went out and bought hardware and you want me to walk you through it right now, we can do that. Let's see here. How's everyone's day off? Is everyone working? Everyone taking time off from work? Sorry. Yeah, a holiday in the midst of a pandemic. How about that, huh? Let's see here. Let's see. We got 4 viewers here. Does anyone want to say hi, or is it you just checking out to see what I'm going to say? Let's see here. All right, I think I've shared this conversation to as many people as I think will benefit from it. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. How about right here? My name is Chris. I offer tech support to anyone who wants it every day between 1 and 2 from California. Let's see here. All right. I think I've shared this to all the groups I'm a member of. So yeah, let's have a conversation here. All righty. How is everyone's day? Let's see here. I'm here every day between 1 and 2, and then if you get this conversation mid-sentence, you can revisit the whole thing later on YouTube at South Bay Tech Gurus. How are you? Let's see here. Who wants to say hi? I got 6 viewers here. This conversation's a lot more interesting with you participants. Me alone rambling, that gets old real quick. Alrighty. 7 viewers here. Let's see here. I gotta get data off of an old Mac here. Apparently it still boots. That shouldn't be too much work. We just gotta grab the drive out of here. And then of course I can make it a USB drive, and then we drag it over to a healthy machine. She brought me 2 old Macs, one of which is not terribly old. It's an old Air. It's probably 2nd or 3rd generation. This thing here. I've got an adapter that'll turn an SSD out of the MacBook Airs into a USB drive, and then yeah, you can just plug them into a healthy machine and drag over the content. Yeah, not very difficult. It can be time consuming if the drive's either failing or if there's a lot of data. All right, my customer here also gave me some equipment, so I can consider it a tip. She gave me some tripods and a couple old camcorders. Not very modern, but they are functional and, of course, better than the tiny little cameras of the era. So definitely usable. How is everyone? I got 5 people here. Who wants to say hi? Who wants to have a conversation? If you don't want to talk tech, that's fine. Just say hi. How is everyone? Gonna get a roll call. There we are. Yeah. Tell me where you're from. Got one mic here. Got some equipment coming tomorrow. Be able to remount my microphone. Yeah, but otherwise, slow progress is good progress, I suppose. How is everyone's day? Increase the volume, please. All right. Okay, so test 1, 2, 3. Bill, Dad, do you hear me better now? Do you hear me better? Am I not close enough? I'm working on that. I've got a mount coming tomorrow. Is this better? Is this about how far away I have to be? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me all right? You know what? Let's do a check here. Is this thing on backwards? How's this sound? Does this sound better? Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I brought them over. Yes, thank you, Rich. All right. Can someone give me a mic check? I want to make sure. Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How close do I have to be to this mic here? Slightly better? All right. Is this much better? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Slightly better. Yeah, I need to know. See, once I get my my proper shock mount and control arm for the microphone, that'll be a lot more easy to manipulate. Dean, hi. Is that thumbs up for hey, how's it going? Or you telling me you can hear me all right? This microphone, I don't know. I need to know how far away I can be. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Let me pull up my own video here and see how I pull up here. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, there we are. Far away I can be. All right, there we are. Giving me my own sound check here. All right. Good. All right. So, too far from the mic? All right. Cool. How's that sound? Is this better? There we are. All right. Good. Well, here I am. All right. Dean, where are you? What city are you viewing from? Does anyone want to do a live Facebook call? Yeah, I want to have a conversation. Let's do a phone call, huh? Someone want to call me on Facebook? Way good. All right, good. Okay, good. So now I know I got to be within just a few inches. When I get a mixing board, I'll be able to manipulate the settings. But this is just a standard USB mic, and it's just going straight to Facebook. It's not being manipulated at all. So until I can upgrade my hardware here, we're stuck here. One piece at a time. All righty. So, Dean, how are you? I'm going to be doing some, I got to set myself up so I can actually do some work and be seen on camera. You know what? I can do this computer here. Let's see here. All right. All right. So I'll show you how easy it is to get the hard drive out of one of these old plastic, probably a 2008 or a 2009 MacBook. It's made out of plastic. Whoops. Oh, there we are. So you get the little what's it called, the lock here. You can manipulate that with a coin, like a quarter, and then you got access to the battery here. The battery just flops out after that, and then the hard drive is actually under this here. This here is also it's covering the RAM, and then the hard drive itself. This is definitely a legacy hardware device. Most people, these were very reliable years. That's why this one actually still works. But obviously, it runs an old operating system. Manchester, loud and clear, not loud. Got it. Dean, thank you. You know what? I got a lot of UK viewers here. That's kind of fun. Because I'm coming from Los Angeles here. So, here, I'm going to pull the hard drive out of here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three screws here. Manchester. Yeah, I've never been to England. I've been to Scotland. So Manchester is, from what I hear, I think that's down at the bottom of the country, right? You're at the base of England. All right. I'm taking this hard drive out of here. Let's see here. That's a Phillips head screw, if anyone's wondering. This was before Apple got clever and decided to reinvent the screwdriver, or the screw. And voila, it just falls out. That little bracket, there we are. Pretty easy. And then there's your RAM slots. Yeah, new Apples are nowhere near this easy to get at. The RAM slots are just levered in there, that little arm there, that ejects them. And then the hard drive that we're after is under where my left hand is. Right here. Let's see if I can, right there, then it just flops out. Alrighty. It's got a tab that you can pry out. Okay, so Newcastle and Manchester are close by, huh? And there we are. It just falls out. There's our hard drive. Now I got an adapter that'll turn this into a USB drive, and you plug it into a healthy device, and you're good. And then you can recycle this thing. One of the easiest Apples to work on, basically. Unfortunately, we're talking about 10 to 12-year-old hardware. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how easy a lot of stuff is. So, yeah, hard drive replacement is one of the easier jobs on most repaired computers. It's also one of the most common failures. All right, yes. How is everyone's day? Northwest of England, nice. Yeah, that's interesting. I got a lot of UK viewers. I share this content to a bunch of online pages. I'm wondering if those pages were started in the UK. Anyone have any problems they want resolved today? Or is this just kind of hang out and chat? We can chat anything you want. When it's slow, I really don't care what we talk about. Let's just get a conversation going. Let's see here. Okay, so supposedly the screen on this one is cracked. Let's see what that does. I told her she can use it as a desktop by just plugging it into a TV. Yeah, all right, so let's see what this thing does, huh? Oh, I can already see that it's physically, yeah, without turning it on. The battery's probably dead, it won't turn on. But yeah, I can tell the screen is not giving us what we want. So the drives on these are very proprietary. They're not the normal M2 or they're Apple, whatever they call them. Each one, they change the form factor each year. It's a little frustrating. Where I go to get those SSDs replaced is, what is it called? I can't think of it. MacSales.com or OWC. They sell performance SSDs for the older Macs. Basically, up until 2015, you can replace those SSDs. But yeah, it's a little unfortunate because, and in fact, I'm surprised, or I don't know if Apple's market is being affected by, or their sales market as far as volume goes, is affected by the fact that their SSDs or the memory is built into the logic board of a late model Mac. And when I say late model, I'm talking about anything 2016 or later. So if the logic board fails, you're up a creek if you're not backed up. It's a little unfortunate, and I don't know what it's done for Apple sales because I don't know a lot of professionals that agree with it. I mean, Apple's made mistakes in the past with their data management. Like for a while, I think what was it, the 2013, their supercomputer that kind of looked like a trash can. That was not very scalable, and they expected you to add our USB drives from the external enclosure. So that meant you had a desk cluttered with USB drives all over. So that was a silly idea. They only eventually, I think their interim fix was a very fast iMac, which is a nice computer, but it took them until last year to get back to the basics and give us our old garish desktop. Right, yeah, they're expensive and they're difficult to repair, Andrew. Their desktops, though, are very robust. Reliable, I think is the word I'm thinking. Because they've got a lot of issues on their laptops. There's certain issues on, like, the 2011 was a bad year. I guess there's a flex cable flaw in, what was it, the 2016 or 17 model years. And I've had people come in recently and ask me about repairing their machine, and ultimately it's an Apple replacement that they fix for free. But you have to handle that conversation properly with the Apple Store. Open the safe. I don't have the combination. Yeah, we had a falling out. There was going to be a lady that was going to take this out of the office and sell her jewelry. But that was actually a month before this pandemic thing happened. So when you sell jewelry in a bad economy, usually the luxuries in life are the first thing that goes. So essentially, she wanted me not to be here for 3 days of the week. And that was after our agreement. So that wasn't going to work. So I basically said, nope, that's not going to work. We drew up a contract, and she added to it in verbiage afterwards. I'm thinking, no, this is not going to work. So, you had too much to drink today, huh, Andrew? Yeah, well, I've done that a couple times. Lots of mobile devices are becoming hard to repair because RAM and storage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why backing up is critical. And in fact, backing up your phone, a lot of people don't think about backing your phone up to a local machine. The iPhone does not manually back up. I'm sorry, it does not automatically back up to a local computer unless you manually push it. So, and the other weird thing is that it'll cloud backup, but not also back up to the local hard drive. You can toggle either one, but it won't do both. So a lot of people don't realize that. So if you're earning a living off of it, or if you're sentimental towards the data, That's a problem a lot of people don't realize. So yeah, you do want to make sure that not only are you cloud backed up, but you're backed up locally. Because these huge companies make mistakes. Let's just assume the virus on an Apple isn't likely, but let's say you get a virus on your Android. That cloud backup could be contaminated. So yeah, a lot of people don't want to go through the motions of paying attention to how their system, their phones are backed up, but you really need to. If you care that much about your data, I mean, people don't. If they're not enthusiasts or experts, they don't think about it. They don't care. They think it's too much of a hassle to bother. Past of the path path of least resistance is not detailed and bothering to get your information in multiple locations. Yes, all on board manufacturing does not make repair easy. Theoretically, you can make a machine faster because the data doesn't have to travel as far. But, Andrew, I doubt there's anything in the safe. This thing literally weighs about 5,000 pounds, so I'm told. Um, she still has to get this thing out of here, but because we had a falling out in about 2 months period, she didn't plan on having it moved around. So I guess she doesn't want to pay the storage fees to get it out. She is wealthy. She's married to a medical doctor. It's not like she can't afford to move this thing. Oh, got a 4 or 5,000 square foot house, half a mile from the beach. Yeah, she has no money issues. In fact, this was going to be a hobby business of hers just to get her out of the house. Yeah, I don't think there's anything important in there. She didn't really get around to getting started. In fact, yeah, she moved in a month before the pandemic, so I don't think she has much business to speak of given the environment. I think my business, being in the business of repair, is more resilient in a bad economy. So, but of course, a rich neighborhood is probably not the best place to start a repair business because there's probably a reason for me not having any competition within the next 5 or 6 miles of here. Oh, really, Andrew? You had a safe left behind, so you just built a game room around it. So, what is a safe like an in-wall safe, or is it a table? Have you made it into a piece of furniture? Yeah. How repairable would Dean? How repairable would you think a Surface Go 2 is? Oh gosh. Um, a Surface. What is a? Hold on, I'm gonna have to Google what a 2 Go is. I know what a Microsoft Surface is. Let's see, a Surface to Go. Let me see what that is. Oh, it is a Microsoft product. Yeah, okay, so the short answer is it's not very repairable, Dean. Or a Surface to Go, a Surface Go 2, I'm sorry, whatever. Um, yeah, those machines are literally glued together. I had one, I had a fifth generation Surface in here, and it was, the screen literally peeled away. I didn't have to get any tools to get into the machine. Yeah, so that's the problem with a lot of those tablets. They're glued together. Microsoft has always had a very good reputation for build quality, but of course, repairability is not what they're known for. The Surface is not a very repairable machine. Can you replace the battery? Yeah, you can physically do it, but you understand that to get into a machine with a glued screen, you need to be very delicate with a heat gun so that the screen doesn't damage yeah, you don't want the screen to be damaged with the heat. You don't want the LCD to just kind of explode. It can physically be done, but for the labor I'd have to charge for the amount of time I'd have to put into it to be delicate and not crack the screen, I don't want to bother. You can theoretically replace the battery on anything that has a battery, but of course there's a lot of technology now that is just not meant to be repaired. It's meant to be replaced. Even if you source the parts. I mean, technically, if you want to take the time to diligently tear something apart, that's possible. It is physically possible. You can replace the battery on this Air, but the Apple doesn't really expect you to do it. Oh, there's people out today. Yeah, I know, Dean, but that's the nature of our technology. We're just not built to our stuff's not built to be repaired. Literally, just before I started the show, I had a guy in his 60s come in here, and given the era he grew up in, his stuff is designed to be repaired. I tried to talk him out of not repairing a 10-year-old HP laptop. He dropped it. Screen was cracked. So I'm charging him $100 labor and about $100 worth of parts, $150 worth of parts. $250 to replace or repair a 10-year-old HP laptop. I had to make sure that he knew what he's buying. You know? I found the parts on eBay. I really didn't even, I told him I wasn't going to be able to, but I found the two parts he needed real easy. So, like, all right, you want to pay me $100 labor to fix your 10-year-old HP? I'll do it. And I made sure he knows exactly what he's paying for, and that $250 towards a replacement computer would likely be a smarter idea. But he loves the form factor. It's not a special computer. It's just an old HP. They made a bunch of them, a G60 something. Not a very interesting machine, but people don't like change, I guess. Hey, I tried to talk him out of it, Andrew. I needed to make sure he was. In order for me to make it an ethical repair, I need to make very clear that that machine is 10 years old and that it's probably a smarter idea to spend the money on a newer machine. Yes, I know. It's not worth $200 repaired. The thing still has 7 on it. If someone really wants to spend money on it, I spent 5 minutes trying to talk them out of it. And I need the money. It's not like I would have, it's not like I'm trying to, I just don't want to get paid unethically. There we are. That's what notary publics have to deal with. No, it's not. Dean, Windows 7 is no longer capable of being updated. You can get updated to the latest update, but no, unless you're a billion-dollar corporation, paying an annual fee to Microsoft, Windows 7 is no longer secure because you're specifically not getting updates. Not for performance, not for drivers, not for security updates. Unless, of course, you're a huge company. In which case, those huge companies are finally to the point where they're all starting to move over to 7. No, Windows 7 is not secure. Yes, end of life. That's the word. Right. Yes, it will become less and less capable of being updated also. So, like, you can't run the latest version of Chrome or Firefox, which means that's an open gate for potential viruses. Because if you can't update the browser, then that's just a big insecure open window to whatever the hackers want to do. Yeah, if you want to be secure, you need an updated machine. Go ahead and update the hardware. Update the software to whatever the hardware can support. And then when the hardware can no longer be updated to the latest software, that's time to move on. So Apple, they'll update their hardware. Like I've got a 2012 iMac Mini. It'll go up to the latest OS, but I imagine the next version of Mac will not install on a 2012. That's when it's time to move on, even if the hardware still works. Windows 10, it's been a very big improvement from Windows 8. Windows 8 was basically a beta version of 10. That's what I think of it. Yes. And yes, Windows 10 is much better than it used to be. I update my little memory sticks every 6 months. That's how often the version of Windows 10 gets updated. So I guess 1909 is the latest version. Probably a month or two away from the next version. So yeah, it's a huge improvement. Windows 10 is, I do like the fact that the driver support is better than it's ever been. More often than not, all I have to do is plug it into the internet and get all the peripherals working. Like the camera driver, mouse driver, any of that fun stuff. Even if you plug in a desktop or laptop to a network where the printer's already plugged in and set up, it'll often just it'll install the printer without even without you asking permission. It'll do it without asking permission. Yeah, Windows 10 driver support is probably my biggest feature, my favorite feature about Windows 10. But I also like the fact that it installs on hardware in about 10 minutes. Right, Windows 8 was a mistake. It was an experiment. They treated Windows like everyone was going to have a touchscreen, which was an obvious mistake. I don't understand why they made Windows 8 so touchy-feely, because it doesn't have the start button. It doesn't have the start menu. It's like driving a car with a wheel that only turns 10 or 20%. That's not very maneuverable. Windows 10 is mainstream now at this point. It's been 3 years. Are we almost on our 4th year for Windows 10 now? Let me Google that. I'm curious when our release date was. Windows 10. When was it released? July. Oh, so it's 5 years old now. All right, July 29, 2015 was the release date for Windows 10. Oh, and I'm also looking at Windows 10 was released, Windows 7 was released in October 22nd, 2009. Windows 7. Wait, which Windows? Oh, no. Yeah, Windows XP was released October 25th, 2001. And then Microsoft Windows, which version of this? It just says Windows. I guess version 1? Hold on. November 20th, 1985. Was that version 1? The version of Windows I used was Windows 3. So, was that version 1? 34 years ago. It's not saying which version that is. I'm guessing it's version 1. But Windows 3.1 is really where Windows became mainstream as far as the desktop OS goes. Yeah, I don't know. The tablet version of Windows 10, I don't know how well that works. I don't see many tablets, although I do like the full Microsoft service. You know what? I hate to say it, but if I was going to go spend $1,500 on a Mac and not worry about the cost, I might. I'm sorry, I said Mac. A Windows PC, the Microsoft hardware, the full one with the big old detachable keyboard, the real keyboard, not the one with the flappy panel keyboard. I would consider that machine. Obviously, I understand it's not going to be as fast as some other brands because you're paying a premium for that build quality and the fact that it is Microsoft. But keep in mind that Microsoft hardware is theoretically more reliable because it's all done in the same company. So the company that builds the hardware is the same company that builds the software. That's why Apple's Macintosh is theoretically more reliable than, say, Windows on a Dell. You got Dell, HP, Lenovo, all those brands. You're removing some of the reliability when you're increasing the number of brands that offer support for one company's OS. So when you have one OS and one hardware vendor, which is the same as the software vendor, there's a lot more interaction that makes the whole system more reliable. That's why Apple's advantage in the computer realm, uh, their hardware has always been very reliable with their OS. Right. Yeah, Andrew. I like the hardware build quality and theoretically reliability is what I would be after. Because personally, as technical as I am, I'm not a gamer, so I don't need a computer to be terribly high performance oriented. And I'm not exactly a road warrior, so I don't need a laptop to function. Most of what I do is while in front of a desktop. I think having access to a desktop and a good performing laptop, and then having like a spare laptop as like a spare tire. So have a computer that isn't necessarily um, as powerful as the two computers you use daily, but have something that gets you online so you can function if the thing fails. Yeah, that's part of a like a work plan I recommend a lot of business people do, but a lot of people don't want to bother. Yeah, touchscreens are a double-edged sword. I mean, they can be too sensitive, and the it's app specific. Surfing the web with the touchscreen on using the touchscreen can be beneficial or detrimental. It doesn't matter. The exact implementation is what matters. Lenovo's have always been decent machines. You do actually pay a slight premium for that brand too. Their build quality's also been pretty good, at least in the past. Obviously, it's hard to judge the latest hardware out there because if it doesn't have that much experience out there in the world, then why? Dater, you all right? Dater's napping. Heavy breathing. Let's see here. You might sell your gaming PC to buy a Surface, but the graphics card are right. Well, if you have a gaming PC, why would you want to sell it to get a machine that's not as good a performer, Andrew? Oh, you want to see my desk setup? All right, cool. So it's partial. I'm waiting on some hardware. In fact, here, let me get my. Let's see what we got here. All right, I'll show you what my desk looks like. You know what? Oh, you know what I can do? There we are. All righty. There's the office. There's the mount where you guys sit. There's the forever desktop. All right. So to listen to my audio, I got my audio engines. Oh, there's my another USB powered screen. I got three screens in this computer. So basically, that's you can't really change the resolution, but it gives me a place to put a little window of anything of tools or whatever. So then I got my audio engine 5 pluses for I'm using them as monitors, although they're very good boombox replacement speakers. In which case, they have what's called their own amplifier. So I've got my Sonos Connect connected to them. So I also have another Sonos Connect plugged into that old Pioneer stereo down there. So I can manipulate those both through the Sonos app, right? It doesn't want to focus. But anyway, I got the Sonos controller installed on the desktop. Let's see. So basically, I've got the speakers on some kitchen shelves that are actually designed to go in the kitchen, what's it called, cabinet work. I've got 3 of them. I got one. This machine has a broken screen. I can't order the screen until tomorrow because the banks are closed today, and I need to make sure it gets all shipped out. Let's see here. Then I got another one of those kitchen shelves. This is an 8 terabyte drive I use for moving data around. Yes, I have BIOS batteries, but they're also for remote controls. Oh, there's my Hue controller there. Let's see, I got a mount for a laptop there, right there. These are my heat bulbs in my, I dragged this lamp from my apartment. Let's see here. That's my desktop. That's powered by a Mac Mini. That's where I render my videos. That's pretty much all I'm using that machine. There you can see my turntable plugged into the old Pioneer stereo, and then another Connect. There's my fabulous light there. And then here we go. So I'm getting my arm for my microphone so I can put that closer to my mouth. Speaking of which, I guess you probably can't hear me that well. Let's see here. So then I got a little drawer for some gadgetry, some adapters, some cables, USB adapters to SATA controller. There's a USB hub, so I can use multiple keyboards and things with one computer. Let's see here. This is most of the office. I'm not going to show off what's behind the wall just because, well, 1, the camera won't reach, and 2, it's a mess. But I'm working on making that a workspace. And these are some abandoned computers. There's your fabulous safe. Oh, that'll be my replacement camera, but I'm waiting for some adapters. I need an adapter to get that from HDMI to USB. So I'm waiting to fire this up. This will eventually replace what I've got in my hand. And this all sits on a legal sized desk. This is a keyboard. I love this keyboard mainly for the one feature. It has a volume button right there, a rheostat, so I can manipulate the volume on the computer there. And then I got a real loud, clicky mechanical switching keyboard right here. I need to dust it off. It's been sitting for a while. And then, yeah, so once I get my microphone in that mount, I'll be able to keep it closer to my face, and then you guys can hear me better. And I won't get so lazy and so far away that you can't hear me. So, and then I got some tools spread apart because I'm going to tear into these machines. Yes, it's a Corsair. You can't read it because it's got brushed aluminum enclosed. Yeah, there you go. It's so reflective you can't read the logo. Hey, I still don't know. What is this button here? If you know this Corsair keyboard, what is this button? I got a mute and a volume button, but what the heck is that? I can't figure out what it does. It looks like a volume lock icon. And then, of course, yeah, it's got the play, fast forward, and stop buttons. Dean, do you know what this button is? It sounds like you know this keyboard. And then it has a USB hub in the back, which is kind of nice. There you go. Hey, Dean, what is this little button here then? If you've got the same keyboard, what is that? It doesn't do anything. Oh, it locks the Windows key. Okay, why would I want to do that? Why would I care about locking the Windows key? I mean, just be careful not to bump it? I don't know. Yes, this one is the K something. I forgot whether. It's the K something. I forgot which one it is. I'm trying to tighten this up here. Let's see. Ah, there we are. There we go. There you go. There's our basic setup. The K55. What's the difference between the 95 and the 65? Or the 95 and the 55, Andrew? Here we are. Let's see here. What's the K95 look like? Let me Google it here. Let's see. Oh, you got the colored one. That's it. You got the K. Let me see what the K55 does. Okay, yeah, so basically the new version of it does color. This one does not, I guess, right? Yeah, I don't think this one's RGB, so it's the old one. Let me see what this is here. It's the Corsair. It's a K60. Dean, mine is a K60. Let's see here. Performance. Let's see here. Yeah, it's definitely meant for a gamer. It is a K60 keyboard. Although, yeah, I don't. So the new version of it, I guess the gaming keys are colored special. Huh. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't look like my keyboard. Other than being mechanical switching and having those buttons for the volume and the play and stop buttons and the Windows lock key. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, okay. So I guess if the gaming keys are on the left side, that's why you would lock that button. All right, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so I got the K60. Yeah, the K60 doesn't do the what's it called? The RGB, no colors. Ah, I just realized that Windows key does light up. Okay, I guess I had so much light on it I couldn't tell. And I don't use this keyboard every day. Now it's becoming my everyday keyboard. So, yeah. I type left-handed, one-handed, so I like the mechanical nature of a keyboard because I can hear the result on the screen without looking up. So I'm kind of a touch typist, but I'm not. So I like to be able to hear that clank. A lot of people, specifically people that are on camera, don't want that heard in their microphone. So that's a feature they don't like. But I actually like that clank, 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 clank. So for years, I used a 30-year or 40-year-old IBM with a DIN connector, and I just use a USB adapter just because of those original clank, clank. Yeah, Corsair's a decent brand for a lot of stuff. They do a lot of accessories. It's a step above the. It's definitely better than the cheap stuff you can buy in everything they do. But yeah, when it comes to my interface to the computer, I like my trackball. Oh yeah, I guess you can't see it. I got the Cherry MX Blue Ball. I don't have the Cherry MX Blue Ball. I have the red this thing here. Here, I can't see what's going on here. Let's see here. Oh, there we are. Yeah, this ball here. The only thing this thing is missing is the roller trackball here. There's no track wheel, I mean. So I love my trackball because I don't have to move my whole arm. In fact, I think that's better for your wrist. So if you get carpal tunnel tendencies, having a trackball, theoretically, I would imagine, since I don't have that problem. Is that a what? A what? Sam, is that a what? Is that a no? What? Cherry MX Blue? Oh, Sam. Sorry, I missed your line. Yes, I can help. What's going on with it? What's wrong with your laptop, Sam? Sorry, it's hard to keep up with the chat. So, especially if you grab me into a conversation. It's all, clicky. Mechanical switching keyboard is what it's called. Okay, Sam, what's wrong with your laptop? I'm not the only technical person in this conversation either, so if I don't have your answer, Andrew or, anyone else can help too. What's going on? Sam Gray, what is wrong with your machine? What's wrong with your laptop? Does it turn on? Does it run hot? Does it boot? Okay, you turn it on, and then you just get a blue screen after that, and you just get a message that says, please enter and fix it. Yeah, we are, Andrew. Yes. Okay, well, can you say exactly what the blue screen is? Most often it's a hard drive failure, but it could be a RAM failure. Those are the two most common blue screen generators. Does it say RIQ not less than or equal to? Does it have like a no boot volume with underscores in between the three letters? Yeah, what's the boot code? Bad RAM or a bad hard drive, I'm guessing. Hard drives are the most common failure. RAM is not a terribly common failure. You'd be surprised how when that BIOS battery goes, just replacing that can fix a boot issue. Yeah, it doesn't boot into safe mode. Could be a driver issue. Okay, Sam, unfortunately, yeah, if we knew exactly what the error code, that might tell us a lot. If you could take a picture and text it into this message, that would tell us something. Can you read it off? And can you vaguely tell us what it says? All right. Hey Sam, do you have access to a bootable copy of Windows or any operating system on a memory stick? Because I'm curious if you could at least boot to that. Because if you can get to, say, the installer on that stick, then we're on to something. Sam, did you tell us what brand it is? Certain brands have better diagnostic utility so that when you boot, you can hit the F12 key, like for Dell, I think it's F12, and I don't remember what it is for HP, but not all the brands, but a lot of the brands have different function as far as the select boot device failed. All right. Oh, well, there you go. It's your hard drive, Sam. A boot device is your hard drive. Okay, so basically what you want to do is, how old or what computer is this? So I don't know what budget you have, but the labor is easy. So if you just want to take the cost and put that towards, say, an SSD, a 500 gig SSD from Samsung is like 60 bucks. It might just be that. All right. Okay, a Star Wars edition of an HP. Let me Google that and see what that is here. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, right. New HP Star Wars edition. That was a high-end machine. All right. So does that have an M2 or a 2.5-inch drive? Let me see. It might actually have both. Does that have room for both an SSD and an MS? Okay, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so Sam, that looks like a fairly high-end machine. Does that do M2? Are you booting off an M2? That's what I'm wondering. So yes, physical hard drive failure. But it looks like that machine probably, given the age, it's not a terribly old machine. It probably also does an M2, which would be faster. Sam, just let us know you're with us, and I can find you a link for what you should buy. I don't know what your budget is, or if you're willing to spend money. Now that you know what the problem is. I don't know. Got it. Okay, well, I'm not trying to beat you up. basically an M2 is replacing the 2.5-inch size drive for as far as form factor goes. How old is the machine? Let me see what that. Can someone go to YouTube or something and find the teardown video on that and tell me what's in there? All right, no problem, Sam. As long as you can hear me all right, we're going to go figure out what size drive is in there. HP Star Wars Edition. Let me see. Let me see here. BIOS screen. 12 gigs of RAM. So yes, it had a mechanical drive. I can't tell with this BIOS screen I'm looking at if it can do a an M2. It looks like it was a 2016 era computer. Okay, yeah, 2016 is, I just pulled up a BIOS screen on eBay of one, and it looks like, so if it's that old, it probably doesn't have an M2. So what you're going to want to do is buy a 2.5-inch SSD. Sam, what country are you in? Okay. I still think a cheap SSD is going to way outperform even the cheapest mechanical drive. I'm still trying to get everyone off a mechanical drive, Andrew. For twice the amount of money, you get 5 times the performance. Yeah. 15 euros for a mechanical drive. For 30, you can get an SSD. Let's see here. Amazon. Let's see here. Okay, so I don't know how big a drive he has in there, but for less than $100, you can get a Samsung Evo 860. Let's see here. If he's really budget conscious, let's see what we can find here. There we go. 500 Western Digital Blue for 70. Well, that's not much of a savings for a blue branded drive. Let's see here. Here's a 240 from Kensington. Yes. Yeah, all right. So, Sam, is it worth 60 euro to you? Because that's your fix. That's a $60 part. My opinion is a $60 part. Yes, you could get a $30 or a 60, 120. So, a 60 SSD, yes. I would highly recommend it. You will notice an increase in performance. Okay, so then there you go. And I could tell you there's not much physical labor. You don't need a huge amount of skill to get in there. It's going to be just a big flat panel on the bottom of the machine and 5 or 6 screws, and then you're going to be staring at it. Yes, pretty much. I mean, I would never, I'm not going to spend much, I'm not, it's not a, I wouldn't put my life on it, that's for sure. But yeah, theoretically, it could be the controller on the motherboard, but that's a totally random, very rare failure. So yes, it's almost a guaranteed fix. You can also borrow a drive from someone, right? You can boot. That's why I wanted to boot from the USB drive to see if it would boot off of that. So it's also going to cost you a $10 memory stick to make a copy of Windows 10. Sam, do you have access to another? Yes, it will. Right, if it's dead, there's no performance, right. This will be a faster computer than it has ever been. There you go. How's that, Sam? So I haven't torn into this exact model, but I have YouTube videos of me tearing into these machines and doing this repair. So I have a physical limitation. If I could do this repair one-handed, I would not be intimidated by it. Yes. You're paying, Andrew, would you say you're paying about 2 times the cost and hardware cost for 3 to 5 times the speed? I mean, yes, I understand that there's other performance characteristics that are not hard drive related, because once it's all up and rammed, then your hard drive barely gets touched. But yeah, you know. Yes. Sam, buy that SSD. If you want a video on how to do the repair, I've done this repair on camera on YouTube. Here. Let's see here. YouTube. I hate to, well, no, I don't hate to, but here we go. Let me find the YouTube video of me doing a SSD repair. There we are. Let's see here. Let's see here. There we are. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, you could try to boot off of the memory stick, Sam. You're going to need a healthy computer to create that memory stick, which also I've done a video on. Oh, I'm sorry. That video's for an M2, but it's not that much more. It's the same labor. It's not that much more difficult. An SSD 2.5 inch is like what you likely have in that machine. If it's a 5-year-old machine, you don't probably have an M2. But I'm trying to show you that there's just not that much labor in it. It's a half hour to physically get in there, put in the drive, and then another half hour to an hour of installing Windows. Oh, you South Bay Tech Gurus. You know what? I got to figure out what that limit is. Yes, these videos, when you click on them, they don't open up in the web browser on the phone. I got to figure out what checkbox I got to find that allows me to open up in a web browser. Look it up take that link, copy it, and paste it into the YouTube app. Or South Bay Tech Gurus is the channel. Or you can do a search for South Bay Tech SSD install. Yeah, it is the M2, Dean, but we're sure he's got it. We're almost positive he's got a 2.5-inch SSD, but yeah, an M2 is the video. And now, actually, I think that particular machine had both. That had a mechanical 2.5 and an M2. Yeah, we did that about a month ago. The customer helped, or he watched. He was holding the camera, I think. Yeah, that M2 is physically, it's about the size of a memory, yeah, like a RAM chip, about the same size of a RAM module. It's dimensionally different, but about that size. A little thinner, a little longer. But yeah, once you see me do it, you'll also see that I have a slight disability on my right hand. So don't be intimidated about the labor. A lot of people are just afraid of tearing into their machines. Okay, so I'm sorry, Dean, that video is of a Dell. But structurally speaking, his computer we're speaking of now is not terribly different. Yeah, sure, Sam. Dean, what do you mean tin case? I'm not sure. Oh, the computer we're speaking of in that video? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by tin case. So it wasn't my computer. It was a customer's he bought a few years ago. Hey, look at that. We're up to 2 o'clock. It's been about an hour. Does anyone have any final thoughts? Thank you, everyone, for showing up and saying hi. Oh, what brand was the M2? You know what? It might have. Yeah, I am trying to remember. I don't remember what brand or exactly what model that that M2 was. I'll have to look at the video again. I do enough volume to where it's easy to forget what models of hardware I work with. All right, it's been about 2 o'clock. I want to keep this show for about an hour. Otherwise, if you want to keep me in conversation, we can keep going. Yep, time is up. All righty, everyone. I do this every day between 1 and 2 from California. My name is Chris with South Bay Tech Gurus, offering you free tech support for about an hour between 1 and 2. If you like what you hear or see, you can get this conversation on YouTube at South Bay Tech Gurus. Go ahead and sorry, my phone's going off here. My name is Chris at South Bay Tech Gurus. That is the company name. You can find me at southbaytechgurus.com. Hit the subscribe at YouTube at South Bay Tech Gurus. Hit the like button. Hit the bell if you want to know when this goes live. Anyway, yeah. See you again. I do this every day tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Have a great day. Alrighty. God, that's annoying, eBay.